Good afternoon and welcome to the Bedford Area Chamber Podcast. This is Chamber Vibes coming right at you, and we have a fabulous guest today. I'm so excited. I'm always so excited to have Tracy Bledo on, Economic Development Director for Bedford County. She is a rock star for Bedford, and we always want to hear from her different things that are going on in Bedford that are pertinent to our business community and just our community in general, to show how we are growing and thriving in the midst of this pandemic that we have been going through. So exciting times. Welcome, Tracy.
Hi, thanks for having me again.
Yes. And so before we get started, I just want to say, it's been so pretty outside, and this weekend was Easter. What were some things that you were able to do fun?
Well, Easter weekend is always nice because it's pretty quiet before all the spring activities start. So it was just a time of being with family and, making the flower beds look decent after the long winter and getting ready to plant for maybe next weekend or the weekend after.
Awesome. Right. Once we get through the little bit of chilly, yes, that sounds great.
And of course, church service as well.
Oh, absolutely. For Easter. Yes. And we've got disc golf this coming weekend, pro clinic, disc golf clinic, and that's April the 10th. And it's also your birthday, I understand.
It is.
So
let's keep
exciting.
that under the radar and
Nobody
let's just play some golf.
Nobody will know. Nobody. So it'll be all a surprise. So since the last time we talked here, which companies, and I want to say that this is a series that we're going to be talking about for the whole month of April. We are featuring for the month of April, we want to talk to different businesses about then COVID and now COVID. And what that's going to talk, we're going to be actually talking to each business owner about what they did back when this first started to what they're doing now and how their business models have changed, what they're doing to survive and to get back to thriving, what kind of financial assistance, what are they doing right now? And so we are hoping that this will be a great time for businesses to tune in and to learn different ideas that they can implement for their business growth. So it's going to be exciting, and we wanted you to kick it off to talk about where we've been, where we are now, and talk about which companies should we watch out for this year. Mm-hmm. What are some new things, some different things that are happening, and what are they doing? Because you're in the know. So talk to me about those pivotal companies and what they're doing.
Boy, businesses have really come a long way, and they've learned so much from this pandemic and how to respond to customers with what they're looking for in whatever environment they're in. So in the height of the pandemic, restaurants really pivoted to do the takeout, and even manufacturers had to develop like new protocols on how to keep people away from each other so close, in the manufacturing world. So there were just so many companies that pivoted. And then now what we're seeing is a whole new world, and it's kind of a way of life, so to speak, in some ways, and people just aren't ever going to feel comfortable in big crowds again like they did before, at least for a while. And people just have adapted in such a good way. And, another thing is a lot of the entertainment entities that were really suffered, they are coming alive now. And we saw 150 visitors at our Welcome Center just this weekend from 15 different countries or states and countries, other areas outside of Bedford County. So we're the place to be. And, people want rural areas, but they want to have, restaurants and all the activities that we have going for us here.
Absolutely. And I think this is the time. Weather is changing. People want to get out. So when events are starting back, and of course the restrictions are lifted a little bit, starting April the 1st, we were looking at 100 outdoors, 50 indoors for events. And so we're excited to really get back to a little bit of normal. So you were mentioning a couple of business sectors that were affected. Of course, we certainly know different wedding venues and spas, salons. There were so many, of course, gyms that were highly affected. But how many businesses, we want to talk about some really wins during this time as well. How many businesses was the county able to assist during the height of the pandemic?
Well, we were able to assist 96 small businesses. These are those that made under 3 million in revenues per year. So some of these had like one employee to like 5 or 6 employees, and we served them with $5,000 grants that just helped them get that little edge. And at the same time, they were exploring PPP loans and other types of loans through the Small Business Administration and others.
Yes, and I do want to mention, that's a good time to mention that the PPP loans are available until May 31st right now. Mm-hmm. So if there are businesses out there that did apply, maybe it was for PPP 1 or PPP 2, you can certainly reapply if you qualify, and we encourage you to do that. So what are next for businesses? What can they do and where can they go to get extra help, continued help?
Well, the easy one is my website, bedfordeconomicdevelopment.com. We have a business resources link at the top that says COVID-19 business resources. And there's a long list of all types of grants through the Small Business Administration, the PPP loan type of information, and so much more. So that's a good place. Of course, the Bedford Chamber, you guys offer some great programs to help businesses know how to better market themselves and how to pivot. So there's a lot of resources. You just have to look both at the Small Business Administration, bedfordeconomicdevelopment.com is our Bedford County website, and we are all pointing businesses to where they need to look.
Absolutely. And Virginia Career Works as well. And what are some good things that you see in the county, and what do people need to be aware of?
Well, we've had some really good successes here lately. I guess you've seen that Belvac announced that they're going to move into the Shell building. So they're going to build out the inside. They're going to add 50 employees. They've got a big sign on their building in Lynchburg because of the expansion that they're doing in Bedford County, that they're increasing their workforce by about 15%. So that's one that we're watching. And basically that's one that the industry is changing. They're making machines that make canned, beverages, and people like the cans better now than the plastic. So that's really popular. Damage Prevention Solutions just bought a lot in the New London Business and Technology Center Park. Another train going by, and they're getting ready to break ground. And then Interspec Solutions on Periville Road in Forest, they're currently building onto their building by 10,000 square feet. So there's a lot of manufacturers that are in the right space with advanced manufacturing that are doing really well.
Absolutely. That's a lot of positives that are going on right now in the county. And, you're seeing a lot of that, and it's exciting. It's exciting to hear about it, to know about it, and to know that you guys are really doing your homework and really bringing those to life and getting them here. So thank you for all that you're doing and that your whole team is doing there. And so we're also looking forward to collaborating with you on an event legislative. Of course, we've got our legislative wrap-up on April the 13th. And then, of course, the town and county update will be May the 20th at Beals. So lots to look forward to. We appreciate, again, all that you're doing because it certainly matters to us and it matters to our businesses, and you are making a huge difference. So thank you, Tracy, and thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Good afternoon. This is Wendy Gaylor, President and CEO of the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce. And we are here with Mary Zirkle on Chamber Vibes podcast. Welcome, Mary.
Hi, Wendy.
Mary, you are the Director of Planning and Community Development for the town, and we are blessed to have you. Thank you for coming on today. We love having you on to talk about everything that's going on in Bedford, and we are focusing the month of April, talking to different businesses about then COVID and now COVID, and the business challenges that they've come through, and to talk about what they've done in their business, how they've been innovative, what kind of business plans have they changed, what are they doing different. I mean, it's just going to be an exciting month so that people can come on from their business and learn from other businesses how to grow and thrive in this environment. And we've come through a lot. You guys have been so helpful to the businesses here in the town of Bedford. And it's been so wonderful to work with you and to know that there was money out there and you provided. And so tell me and tell our listeners about what was given back when COVID started, the money that was given, and how many businesses you were able to help? How many companies?
That's a great question. So back in the height of COVID, when we were just trying to figure out what we were going to do and what our council and our economic development authority could do to help businesses, they came up with a $5,000 grant for existing businesses that had been online for at least a year. And so we were able to help about 43 businesses with $5,000 grants. And they were able to basically use it to keep the brick and mortar portion of their businesses open. So that would be for the rent, the utilities. And then at that time, there were other methods from the government, like the Paycheck Protection Program, which were used for payroll to keep people on staff. So we were really happy to be able to step into that and help those businesses.
Yes, and you definitely were able to, and it was so exciting and timely for each one of them. And so we thank you for that. And, now businesses are still able to apply for different grants, definitely through the PPP through May 31st. And that's wonderful. Also, there's going to be the restaurant revitalization. Tell us what you have available through the town, that the different loans and grants.
So we're keeping up with our USDA Rural Development Grant, and this is a $5,000 loan for 5 years at 2% interest. And this is for any business that needs to add or keep a job. So for every one of those, or two full-time equivalents, they can get $5,000 at that very low interest. Now, we only have this available until July because that's when our grant runs out with USDA. So if anybody's interested, they really want to take advantage of this now because that goes through a review process for our Economic Development Authority as well as USDA. So it's pretty quick once they get in the queue for that. The big thing I want to encourage any business, though, trying to get any funds is to have a plan. So that's the way in to get the loan from this is to have a plan, and then we can talk.
Absolutely. And just to make sure, I think one of the requirements before was make sure your taxes are paid up and utilities and those things. But as long as those are done, typically, they can work with you and apply and usually get what they need.
Yep.
So exciting things are happening for Bedford. I know that, like I say, we were talking about the pandemic and how that's affected different businesses. And again, we're going to be gleaning from each business how they pivoted, what they did, and what they're doing now. But tell us what's going on in Bedford in general, the different businesses that are opening right in the middle of all this going on, and an update maybe on the boutique hotel as well.
Sure. So in spite of everything that's been going on for the COVID and everything we're recovering from, we've had about 10 new businesses that I've spoken with that are coming into town, which is really exciting to watch those who are still here grow. So that's the one thing. And then the new ones that are coming online. And I'm just going to drop some names here. So for those people who haven't been aware that these are coming on, be watching. Terrace Blooms is opening up, and Electric Company Art is on Depot Street. Galaxy Modern is on North Bridge Street near Terrace Blooms. We've got a clock shop coming. Adams Clocks and Repair is going to be on Main Street. We've got a new barber shop that's opened up on Crenshaw.
And what's the name of that?
That is Big Dog Barber Shop. And Callie Peterson Photography is opened up on the corner of Bridge and Depot. And some exciting news for Envy Salon is their move to being under Bridge Street Cafe at 210 Bridge Street. One of the little-known shops we're also getting is a New Life upholstery shop, which is going to be complementary to some other businesses that are already here in town. So that's going to be under Acute Design here near the studio that we're in. And I'm just watching the ice cream shop across from Bella is painting ice cream on the building. So I think we're getting closer to opening that. We have ice cream murals, so it's super exciting to see that happening. And then in June, we've got a bakery coming on South Street. So the good stuff is happening here.
I'm going to want to hear more about the bakery.
Oh, yeah. We can't wait. So hopefully the critical time is like 3 p.m. when we start. Everybody gets really sleepy in the afternoons. We can step out and find something good and walk to it so we can get our exercise and our
There you go. We can justify whatever we're going to eat later.
Absolutely.
I love it. And that is so how my brain works. So that is exciting. And, a lot of this has transpired during this pandemic. And what's so exciting is these business owners were so innovative and they were goal-oriented. They were going to make this happen. And I love interviewing these companies that were so driven that it didn't matter what challenges were coming at them. They had a vision and they were going to implement what they needed to implement to make sure that their vision came true. And I love it. Some of these companies we've already interviewed that you mentioned, but we will be interviewing more of them. And, it just goes to show that when you hear these inspiring stories from these business owners, I feel that it helps everyone to say, we can do this too. And as a community, we can support each other. And, the town is very supportive. And so we are just fortunate to live in such a wonderful area to where we are better and stronger together.
Absolutely.
And we help each and every business. I was talking to one business owner about a week or so ago, and they were saying, we make sure before we even order products that we're not duplicating what another store is doing just right down the street. And I thought, wow, that is really going the extra mile and being supportive of each other so that you can actually help the other business and say, let's try to help, not duplicate, but what do you have that we don't have? And, let's make this work. So I love it. And the town is very supportive and all that. So let's switch gears and talk about, we didn't mention Boutique Hotel.
Yeah.
What's the update on the Boutique Hotel? I don't want to forget that.
Since we last talked in January, we had a ribbon cutting for what is going to be called Cardinal Rule at the old former middle school and public school at Longwood and Peaks. So Cardinal Rule is still slated to be open in 2022. So we're really excited to have that addition to the downtown area. It's going to be both a destination and a contributing factor as we know we could use some different accommodation options here in town. So we're really excited about the niche that is going to fill for us and to be a destination and a driver for getting people to stay longer in Bedford, because that's what we want, is get them here and keep them here.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, it's a great segue to go in to talk about the train. We haven't mentioned the train lately, and I know, it's kind of been on a hold, but we still want to mention that there are legislative talks going on and there's being money there that is set aside. Just tell us just give us a little glimpse of what is going on.
Yes, the good news about the rail stop, we haven't heard much about it because it's been behind the scenes getting worked out. The details are being hammered out with the General Assembly. And the great news we've had recently is the Bedford mention in the General Assembly budget amendment that came out. So we're very grateful for the support of our delegates and Delegate Terry Austin and Senator Steve Newman, among others, who were supporters of this and who were very helpful in getting Bedford in that mention for the General Assembly budget. So a lot of things are moving forward. The excitement of New River Valley extension is really great. And then the commitment for the Long Bridge expansion. So that was one of the pinch points that we knew we needed to get around for that. So it looks like things are really lining up across the state to bring the players to the table that need to work together to make this happen. So I think we're closer than we were. In fact, I know we are. And so we're just really hopeful that Bedford is going to be on the map as a rail stop. And again, getting back to getting them here and keeping them here, that's what we want, is to let everyone have an opportunity to stay in Bedford and experience all we have. And then Amtrak's going to be a great partner with that whenever we can have that launch. Absolutely.
And we are a supporter, and we look forward to this coming to fruition. And tourism is important to us and to our entire area, and is a major economic driver for this. So we are excited not just for tourism, but also for people that are their business community, to be able to have that access and just jump on the train and go where you need to go.
And we're trying to figure out how, with COVID, realizing that telecommuting might be the wave of the future, is that, that Bedford is a great place to live if you don't, live and work. So we're trying to figure out how to get the demographic here that doesn't need to be in Washington or Charlotte, that they can have all of it here in Bedford. So we're excited that people are hopefully going to be finding us after COVID.
Yes, it is very exciting. Bedford Amtrak stop makes good economic sense, and it further improves regional connectivity to the north and the south. And we're looking forward to this happening. So definitely we want to stay in the know of what's coming up and how that's all coming together for us. So thank you for giving us the latest update on that information. And so, what is next, do you think, Mary, for businesses in this environment? I know they're becoming more innovative, which has been great to see that happen. And, we've got some more programs that you guys are supportive with, and some trainings. What do you see that has really changed through this whole pandemic with our businesses? And what are some good things that you see happening because of it?
Yeah, I think you mentioned the innovation, and they realized that to succeed and grow, they need to do things a little differently. And for those that weren't afraid to do that, they've found ways to grow. And I think it's just a great testament to the fact that businesses realize that their dreams are still alive, and that watching others do that and succeed, that it's probably okay for them to step out into that, because nobody wants to start a business. It's really a very scary thing to do. So I applaud all of those who do, and I just want them to know that the town and county support them as well as the chamber does too, I know, in starting a business. But dreams are alive here in Bedford. And so as we see more come online, we're behind all of that we can do. We do a lot of work behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know what's going on in the background of that. But what's great is to see when something launches, and then we can all share in the success of that. So dreams are alive in Bedford, and we're really excited to be a part of that.
And we can all support those dreams, and that's exciting collaboration. So thank you for everything that you do, Mary, every single day to help our businesses. And we're looking forward to a better 2021 and to help our businesses to make sure that they are continuing to get the support that they need. So we appreciate everything that you're doing, and have a wonderful rest of your spring. And we'll see you on the next legislative event coming up April 13th.
Great. Thanks for having me, Wendy.